can see a question from MVS. Lina, when Crimea is free again, how do you see the possibility to get Crimean Tatars to move home? Many of them are probably Ruskies. Many of Crimeans, you mean? Like, yeah, because after 2014, approximately not less than 1 million people from Russia moved to Crimea, even though the Crimea's population before 2014 was only 2 millions. So for now, like, it's 1 million more. How do I see that? Well, my prediction may not be as positive as I would love to, because I do believe that some Crimean Tatars will not go back to Crimea, because some people went abroad, and as many Ukrainians started their lives, and it's 11 years already, so it's hard for them to leave everything. But at the same time, people in Uzbekistan lived for 45 years after the deportation, and they returned home even after 45 years. But still, some decided to
Stay.
stay in Uzbekistan. Yeah, and actually, I met a couple. I can't remember. Did I tell you that I went to youth Kurultai in Turkey in May? Have I? Yeah.
You told me, but I'm not sure if you told rollers.
Well, long story short, I got invited to go to Turkey for, let's say, youth congress of Crimean Tatars from all the countries abroad. They say it's a meeting for diasporas, but we in Ukraine are not the diaspora because we are indigenous people of Ukraine. But let's say Crimean Tatars in Romania, Bulgaria are diaspora. Oh, I see MVS said Russified. Okay. So yeah, I met a couple from Uzbekistan, and they said they've never been to Crimea because they were born there, and they will not go to Crimea until it's occupied. But I was surprised they understood Ukrainian language because they're extremely supportive of Ukraine, and they even learned Ukrainian anthem. I was shocked, really touched. I had a goosebumps when we were talking about it because we were singing Ukrainian anthem, and they joined us, like continuing answering. Aziza, the question was, how do we see? Let me roll. When Crimea is free again, how do you see the possibility to get Crimean Tatars to move home? Many of them are probably Russified. Uh, well, in my opinion, those who left are not Russified. Yeah, thank you. I can see the email. Wallaby, I will send you all the details about the letter. And thank you for tagging me because I wouldn't see that tagging me. Some people, in my opinion, will stay abroad or in Ukraine. But for me, I think many people will share my attitude. Like they will definitely go to Crimea as soon as it is possible, like the first day, the first hours of the occupation, really, by train, by car, by bicycle, I don't know, swimming from Odessa, really any possible way as soon as possible to get to Crimea, because I really miss it, and I pray so hard that all of my grandparents will be alive and no one will die until Crimea is not deoccupied, because I will not survive if I won't be able to attend the funeral. And of course, I won't be able to attend the funeral until Crimea is under Russian occupation. But yeah, maybe not everyone will decide to stay in Crimea like constantly, permanently. I think some might live there like half a year and in Ukraine or like other places they chose half a time. But I don't know. I think it will depend on the conditions of the occupation, because it will be, if it will be military way, it's one situation. It will be diplomatic way with no blood. Like I mean, while they occupying
bloodshed.
Crimea
Hmm.
physically. Yeah, that's the other situation.
So Aziza, maybe also answer
Yeah.
that one.
Oh, it is very interesting and difficult question. First of all, our people now are in a very bad condition because we live in different countries now, like in different worlds. Like in Ukraine, in Crimea, that's under Russian occupation, and in different countries of Europe. And so for me, the problem is not to like for coming back Crimean Tatar. For me, it's problem to unite Crimean Tatars from different worlds and to to find something real that can of course Crimea and Crimean language, Crimean culture unite us. But now I feel how we are far from each other, how it's really tragedy for me when we now cannot understand some values. So we begin to have different values, different understanding of the time, different understanding of the, um, you know, how we can see the future. And most of all, the most important to work with the Crimean Tatars who live in Crimea now, especially with new generations and begin to live under Russian occupation, people uh, who have also a lot of trauma, more than for example, we are live in Ukraine in a free world, and we can share our thoughts, we can be free in our minds, but in Crimea, people live in the shadows of reality. They are, and every year they are far away from us. Every year it's like, so that is why it's so important to do it like якомога, я забула це слово, sooner to,
As much.
yeah, to see free Crimea, because every year of occupation it means that we are far away from each other. So for me, it's more. I'm even a little bit afraid of this moment when we will see each other face to face, and you can. So there are a lot of vision how we can live, how people have to live in Crimea, but we could not say, oh, you have to live in such way, because to live under occupation it's very very hard, um, you know, uh, hard way for existence.
Yeah,
And
if I may interrupt, it really changes your mind and perception.
yeah,
I can see how my relatives think differently from they used to, and they're not pro-Russian,
yeah.
but still it influences a lot.
For example, it's like when you saw a lot of years indifference, like they saw that it indifferent from the Ukraine, from the world, that they are under Russian occupation, and so they have to survive, and they live in shadows, and they don't believe in Ukraine, in Russia, in Europe, in the world, and that's right. And in this way, they lost maybe humanity in some way. I think they lost, like, it's very scary for me to see young people that have such vision. So they like indifferent to what happened with Ukraine. Some people, and
It's okay.
so it's. I really believe in Crimean Tatar. I believe in their, creative mind, and I see a lot of young great people with in Ukraine, especially that have a lot of ideas, and I believe that we can fix it. We can work with it. So we need liberation. All that we need is liberation of Crimea, and of course some people will stay in Europe, because it's like, if you make your, like, some people begin a new life, new work, new projects, and it's like big diaspora, how to say in English.
Diaspora.
Diaspora.
So big
Diaspora, yeah.
diaspora, very powerful, for example in Germany, and they could say no, we will we continue our work of development here in Germany. We could do a lot, and it's also good because we have also um, have connection with Europe through our people, and so we can do a lot of common projects. But some people 100% will come back. For example, my relatives, I know some of my relatives that they are really waiting of liberation. And it's all about when we live in deportation in Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. A lot of people, of course, didn't come back, but uh,
Most of them returned.
most of them returned, and they return in absolutely shed world, without nothing, without supporting, without respect, without. But they return because Crimea is our fanatic love. It was fanatic love for our really. It was fanatic love that helped us to come to really change our history, and really won in this war against with Russia, because they want to that we will stay in the deportation, because in this way they want to kill us, kill our future. But our parents, our grandparents did really great decision to come back, and so they could really give us hope for the new world, hope to be free. And I really feel a lot of gratitude to my parents that they did it, because it's changed my life. Because I could not imagine myself in another world, in Uzbekistan, in another country. It will be not me at all. Like, how to explain it? Be not a person. It was all my relatives that now lived or in uh, for this time lived in Uzbekistan. They are not free people at all. They are under Russian propaganda too much, and it's like I, I I think that it was absolutely fake decision to stay in Uzbekistan for these relatives. For me, so I hope that a lot of people will come back, and but the most of important to liberate Crimea, and it will give us a lot of instruments. And it just we say that just don't touch us, don't touch Crimean Tatar, and we can see the future. We can do everything because we have no time when we can like a small time with Ukraine. Even in this time, we have a lot of Russian pressing, Russian propaganda. We didn't have time for our free life, for free, for creation our project, Crimean Tatar, with our ideas. So, yeah.
Yeah, but continuing this thought, I think it's important to know that Ukraine as a country does a lot, especially the permanent representative of the president of Ukraine. So yeah, the permanent representative of Ukrainian president in Crimea, they have a policy of cognitive deoccupation. They already have the plan how to work with people on occupied territories and how to bring them back not only physically but also mentally. And so they're like being ready, um, and what we really need is just the physical deoccupation. um, and I saw the comment from Dana saying like I don't know how to speak to zombies, and comparing to people from Donetsk region who like were pro-Russian. uh, I can say that um, I'm not sure we like have to talk to them face to face, because many people are really under the influence on what they hear on TV. And so if we change the TV, we will start changing their attitude and way of thinking. May not sound respectfully, but I believe some people are like dough and you can really work with them. It just depends who is working.
It just
uh,
do you remember maybe we live in the Crimea with this new generation of those people who were communists and who lived in our houses.
Yeah.
They were very chauvinistic, pro-Russian, love Stalin,
Extremely xenophobic.
Lenin, and call us, call us, like black people. But during the time under with Ukraine, they began to be a little bit changed step by step, begin to be more free. Step by step, they begin to be more tolerant. And if Russia will not occupy us again, these people will change. So step by step, new generation came from this communists in the past, and they really changed. Ukraine changed them, but of course, there are also some practice, or how to say, for example, in the Baltic state, when they give this people Russian, the no passport that you are not.
Allowed to vote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
allowed to vote. They really did it, and it's in the past I didn't understand this. It was like I remember how when I visited with our theater student theater Estonia, and I met such person. He said he was Russian, like me. And he said, I have no passport, I have no ID, like I could not vote in Estonia. And I could not understand, but now I can understand because they really can change the future of a country. But
Yeah.
they're aggressors. They have mind problems. Really, they have chauvinistic mind. They don't want to learn language. They don't want to respect culture. So maybe we can have this, uh, but in general, Ukraine is not like this countries like Baltic states. But Ukrainian culture, Ukrainian vision can change people. I really believe in this. Just we also, of course, we have to see changes of generation. So for this, um, we need time. We need time for this.
Yeah, and I also think it's important to mention that there are still many people in Crimea who are pro-Ukrainian, not only Crimean Tatars, but also like Slavic people. And Ukrainian passport is actually, it looks for them as a nice thing to have. Like they may so, "Foo, Ukraine, ew, yeah," but as soon as they hear about no visa thing in 2017, many people, even pro-Russian people, wanted to obtain Ukrainian passport. And okay, it is like a rude example, but
Hypocrising,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. But still, when, for example, in 2019, I was getting my Ukrainian passport. Uh, Even though some of my relatives were not like pro-Ukrainian, like strongly pro-Ukrainian, they said, "Okay, our little girl has to get it because like it's just a good thing to have." So I believe if people will start with this motivation, they might, you know, develop their way of thinking uh, to get like more human position. Was a question we didn't answer.
Uh,
Do you think that after the occupation, uh, language, culture, dances, and all of that will bring Crimean daughters together? Is it possible just for culture to do that or not?
uh, Culture will help, of course. Our traditional music, traditional way of like our life, way of this wedding and another traditional way of living. It's of course unite us, but it's not only one instrument, and the problem is more deeper. Even culture also needs refreshing. How to say? And needs new ideas and new understanding, a tolerant feeling for new ideas. Because if when your nation try to survive many years, many centuries, they try to be more conservative in different ways, more like save this roots, save the traditional way of singing, and it also stops the development, stops the, you know, some people are against new thoughts, new melodies, new, and it's like a little bit like it's dangerous for traditional culture when somebody try to kill you, somebody try to erase everything. So it's also trauma, and we need to be we need to see justice, we need to see supporting to overcome this, to be free from this, and to see new world, because we can do it. Um, we can really give something to this world with our ideas, with our great people. Because even this small amount people, uh, through this small amount people, we can find really precious, genius people, genius personalities that really are so powerful and bright in this world. So
And they will unite people.
yeah, also yeah, of course. First, it's personalities can unite people. Personalities that have a lot of, love to the nation, understanding to the nation, and like um, we can see bad sides and we can see good sides, but we can support good sides of our nation, support something that really make us special and make us strong, and support these sides of our nation. Of course, we have a lot of problems, and also I think that we have to be honest with our problems too, to be better. We have to be, work with our, because even now we try to unite everybody. For example, like I saw the interview. I saw the interview of some person. He said I could not say something against our leaders, for example, against Muslim.
Yeah, it was Muslim, right?
Yeah, Muslim, because I can understand this, because they're our leaders, and we have to support them, because we can disappear at all, and it's they're like our, you know subjects of independence, subjects of,
Yeah.
so that is why we cannot, be so uh, honest, uh, honest, to be to be honest too much with our problems now, because we have to unite us, and
Yeah.
the world that we are strong, we can do it, because we have a lot of another sort of another people that say to
I
us.
think it will really have a big role in uniting Crimean Tatars, because like we have different experiences after 2014 and especially after 2022. And when people come back, they will have different experiences and different, maybe even political views. But what will unite them is thinking two songs they knew from the childhood. I don't know, tasting the food they've tasted since they were like little. I think this is the base we should rely on to get back to the contact with each other. Because when I was in Turkey on that youth congress, I met a guy. He lives abroad, but he left Crimea in 2022 when mobilization started. And we were talking, and he said to me, when Crimea started being under Russia, like під Росією, and I was like, well, it's occupied, like that's the right name. And he was like, well, it depends on the person, like everyone thinks differently. And I wanted to punch him so bad. Like, what the hell? But I understand that, like, we have to find some mutual ground to address and to be, okay, not tolerant, but not to kill each other, because I'm pretty sure he hated me as well. Because we need each other to build our future, because Crimean Tatars are a small nation, and we need as much people with us as possible. But I'm glad that people in Crimea are still like Crimean Tatars in Crimea are still how would I say it, like sticking together, being like understanding the priorities. Yes, like they receive some pensions from Russian government. Yes, they attend lessons in the school like dedicated to the heroes of special military operation, because they have no choice, because if children will not attend this lesson, their parents will be interrogated by FSB. But at the same time, they teach their children Crimean Tatar culture, and like this is the kind of things possible under the occupation, like to make your fingernails done in blue and yellow colors, to I don't know, to paint tamha on the fence. There was I don't know, Rick, if you've seen it in the news. Crimean Tatar man, he painted tamha on the fence of his building, like the house, and he painted the background in blue and yellow colors. And the next day, police came to his place, and they said, like, you have to remove it. And he said, I will not remove it because it's the colors of Crimean Tatar flag, blue and yellow. Like, and I am Crimean Tatar living in Crimea. Of course, they removed the painting, and they made him to paint it in Russian flag colors.
Oh.
But this was the act of sprotiv,
Resistance.
resistance.
Yep.
Yeah. So being Crimean Tatar in Crimea is already is a resistance. Not dancing under Kalinka Malinka song is already a nice thing to do under the occupation.